Oh, do we have a big board for you this morning. Dr. Ashton, Dr. Besser making a house call. Two major medical stories that we want to talk about. Let's start with Donald Trump. The president sitting down with leaders of major pharmaceutical companies Tuesday to address issues like skyrocketing drug prices. Let's take a look.
The U.S. drug companies have produced extraordinary results for our country, but the pricing has been astronomical for our country. We have to lower the drug prices.
And Dr. Besser, we have seen, and I think this is something that people can be united about, the skyrocketing prices. EpiPen, what they did, and these three insulin makers.
That's right.
What's going on there?
So yesterday there was a lawsuit filed against the three makers of insulin, saying they conspired to drive up the price. And for some diabetics, they were paying $900 a month for insulin. Over a 10-year period, the price of insulin more than tripled. And it's not just insulin. The companies say that these claims are baseless, but it's not just insulin. If you look in the U.S., people pay more than twice for prescription drugs what they do in other industrialized countries. And a recent study found that 1 in 4 adults who's on prescription meds did not fill the prescription over the past year because they couldn't afford to. That's just not acceptable.
It's not acceptable.
And Dr. Ashton, the lawsuit also claims that some people are, because of the high prices of the drugs, they're using expired insulin, or they're just skipping shots altogether so that they can go to the ER room and get a free shot.
Right, and it's the last thing that any doctor wants to hear. We have to remember that a lot of these medications, insulin's a perfect example, this is not optional, this is not elective. These can be the matter between life and death or serious complications. So what I encourage people to do, anyone who's having difficulty paying for their meds, speak up. Talk to the doctor, the pharmacist, your insurance company, your local hospital, the drug company even. Ask. You never know if you could get some assistance. This is not something to skimp on.
You got to speak up because there are some cases where you can find some help.
Yeah.
Did you all hear anything with the president yesterday and talking to Big Pharma that gives you hope that this is going to turn around?
Yeah, I mean, he was acknowledging that prices are too high, and that's really important. He was saying that two solutions are more competition and less regulation. But when he was on the campaign trail, he said that the government should be able to negotiate drug price like every other country. We didn't hear that yesterday.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. Well, you know what? Another thing that we're going to talk about, a lot of people at home, if you're drinking that coffee, you might want to put it down and listen. All right, a new study from researchers at the University of Illinois find that tiny add-ins to your morning cup of joe, like milk and sugar, could lead to extra pounds. And Dr. Ashton, but I like milk and sugar. That's the problem.
I know.
But they did 12 years. They looked at the study over 12 years. What did they find?
So Americans, no surprise, we like our tea, we like our coffee. If you look at the average cup of tea, thank you so much. Did you know I needed my coffee already? If you look at the average cup of tea, people are adding about 43 extra calories, which doesn't sound like much, but we're going to get back to that. 85% of that is in the form of sugar, the rest in fat. Coffee drinkers like myself, on average, adding about 69 extra calories. 60% of that is sugar. So this is something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it just kind of adds up there. But then when you look at milk and cream, we try and say there's calcium.
Yeah.
It's good for us, right?
Yeah. So the average
Nice try, Robin.
exactly the average adult needs between 1,000 and 1,300 milligrams of calcium per day. By adding your little cream in there, you're adding 22 milligrams. So don't think about it as a great way to get your calcium. It's not going to contribute very much.
And this is the thing that I really think that people watching need to remember. 1 cup, 43 calories doesn't sound like a big deal. 3 to 4 to 5 cups, like I have 4 cups a day. This is number 2. That can become 100 to 200 calories extra a day over a year. That's 10 to 20 pounds.
What do you put in your coffee?
I put a little whole milk in there. I don't like sugar. If I'm having tea, I put a little honey. But here's the thing: if you're a 1 cup a day like me, and you're deciding between having the big gulp with 300 calories or a frappuccino with 400 calories, or just a teaspoon of sugar in your coffee, enjoy your teaspoon of coffee, a teaspoon of sugar. But just
I'm a 1 cup.
Right.
But 5 cups a day is different.
I'm a 5-cupper.
Yeah.
See, that's when you gotta.
But what about? I like tea as well.
Yeah.
Is honey good in tea?
Well,
sometimes I like a little tea with my honey.
Honey equals sugar. You just feel better about it.
Sorry.
I can't win. I just can't win.
Look how light that cup of coffee is.
It's a little coffee with my half and half.
Now you're getting some calcium.
There you go.
Hey, thank you both very much.